Iguodala turns it over. Bol back in. Nice feet ahead.
Oh, my
what
goodness.
a pass. Wow. In stride, perfect bounce pass, threading the needle.
Bol squared with the beautiful pass.
Drills, but unable to go. Nurkic in on Bol, and he puts it away.
Nurk just dunked on Bol. Bol just kind of got up there, kept the hands down, and let Nurk put him in a poster. Boy, a pretty good dunk.
And that's what they need from him. Three-point shooting. Williamson with a flush. And some pyrotechnics at the other end.
It happens fast, Mark.
Wow.
From your lady Mariah, both are doing well, but
Wow. My goodness.
getting dunked on by Justin
Justin Anderson.
Oh, man.
Left-handed Justin Anderson.
The outlet away, and the Suns have it. 6 to play. Booker, this is for the win. Got it! Wow!
What a shot by Devin Booker. Unbelievable play. But again, that's what the great players do.
That's right. Devin Booker has the Jump production staff's top play in the bubble so far. So joining us now is someone who knows a thing or two about the Phoenix Suns organization, our front office insider, Amin Al-Hassan. Welcome, my friend. And it's time for us to have a fun little segment here we're calling Bubble Wrap, where we recap the bubble so far. So, Amin, let's start there. Who do you think has been the best player in the bubble so far?
Oh, this is a tough one. There have been so many memorable performances. T.J. Warren through the first 3 games. You had, obviously, Devin Booker has been remarkable. But I'm going to go with the guy who's the MVP of the league already, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's been otherworldly as always. The only thing that can stop him is when his coach sits him.
Jackie, what do you
Okay,
think?
so I agree with Giannis. I like that as a choice, and there are others. Booker, T.J. Warren, so many others. But I'm going to go with the guy that is literally willing his team into the postseason, Dame Lillard. We know he can score, and you saw it in bunches just yesterday. But here's the other thing. He's averaging 11 assists a game. He's being a willing facilitator. And did you guys see what the kind of defense he played on Jason Tatum in that game against the Celtics? He is giving us an all-around performance that's going to take his team out of the playoffs, I think, into the 8th seed. Dame Lillard.
Jackie, it's amazing to hear Dame after these games, too, because he has such certainty. He was saying last night, this is why I wanted to make sure if we got to the bubble, we would at least have a fair chance to try to make the playoffs, he said, because I know that we could. All right, let's shift to team performances. Jackie, who do you think the best team in the bubble has been so far?
You know what? This is an easy one for me. It's the Toronto Raptors. The one thing that surprised me, guys, since all the teams came back to the bubble, was how many elite defenses have struggled a bit on the defensive end. That wasn't something I was expected, rust defensively, because I think of it so much as effort. But, of course, there is timing involved. No rust on the Toronto Raptors and the way they play defense. One thing I've said from the beginning about the bubble is veteran teams will benefit coming back into this restart. Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol anchoring your defense, and Kyle Lowry, the ultimate vet as far as I'm concerned. Look out for the Raptors, people.
Defending champs.
Yeah, Rachel, you know, the hardest thing about following up after a Hall of Famer is there's nothing you can add. There's no answer I can give that's more illuminating or better or more correct. She's absolutely right. It is the Toronto Raptors. And one of the things in the bubble that we should all pay attention to is the offense across the board is ahead of the defense. Why? Because when you're by yourself, you can work on your shooting. You can work on your dribbling. You can work on your moves. You can't really work on defensive rotations and schemes because you're by yourself. Well, the Toronto Raptors are the exception to that rule. Their defense has been phenomenal. They're undefeated. They are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and look, we knew that the offense would probably be ahead of the defense coming into this situation. And we knew the Raptors, who have been gritty all year, who dealt with injuries, overcame them, pushed and pushed and pushed. There's a reason Nick Nurse is the favorite to win the Coach of the Year award. I'm not sure why people are surprised, but I do understand that we have never had a Finals MVP leave his team before. That's just never happened. So with Kawhi's departure, you understand why the Raptors have not gotten sort of the respect bubble that defending champions should have, but I don't think there's any question that they are one of the teams that is going to be there at the end here. We're all seeing it unfold before our eyes. All right, not everyone has played as well as the Raptors, though. I mean, who has been the most disappointing team for you in the bubble so far?
Oh, man, there's so many answers I could go with here. I could go with, the Grizzlies. I could go with the Pelicans, but I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks because this is a team that actually has talent, that was securing its seed, that has an MVP candidate in Luka, and they just haven't come to play. They have one win in their first few games here in the bubble, and I just haven't seen them bring it consistently, and their clutch time issues are still a struggle for them.
So, Amin, I like your answer. But I am going to concentrate on the Grizzlies just because I love this team. They're so much fun. They're young. They're promising. They're going to be so good. And I thought they were good enough to maybe get out here, make a difference, even though I think it's hard for young teams to restart the way they have. Obviously, the injury to Jaren Jackson Jr. has changed everything. But even so, when this team was getting in trouble early, what do? Instead of attacking the rim, they try to get it all back with one big three-point shot. And Ja Morant's struggling mightily from the three-point line. I think he's around 18%. Dylan Brooks also struggling from the three-point line, around 24%, 21%. So I just thought they would do better. Now with Jaren Jackson Jr. out, I don't know what our expectations should be. And you know what? I'm not super worried about them going forward because as my mom used to tell me, look at the age of somebody. This is age appropriate in some ways. They're young, they're learning, they'll be back. They will be. They'll be back.
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't change the promise of this team. We knew that they were going to have one of the hardest schedules here in the bubble, definitely the hardest schedule of the teams competing for that 8th spot. And they were supposed to because they were going to have the hardest schedule if the NBA had never shut down. So when things get harder, there's a reason why we see which team is more capable. The Blazers, of course, having a very hard schedule here as well, and they have the age and experience, to your point, Jackie, to deal with that in a better way than we've seen Memphis do. And then, of course, the unfortunate injury as well. All right, guys, coming up, 2018 #1 overall pick DeAndre Ayton from the red-hot Suns stops by the jump next. I'm going to ask him how high the ceiling is for him and Devin Booker as a duo. It's a lot of fun to always to talk to him. First, though, here's what the Jump recommends for today. Check out the breakout bubble stars on ESPN.com. Michael Porter Jr. from the Nuggets, Gary Trent Jr. from the Blazers are among those listed.